putting on my top hat, polishing my one time, polishing my tails, putting on my top hat, polishing my nails, ooh, 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 oh. Let's take that bit off. Sorry, guys, I didn't realise that you could hear me. I thought that I thought I got it on mute and I hadn't. So if you watch back the beginning, you might hear me just whistling away and talking to myself, which I normally do. So hello again and welcome to Craft Cave Live. See, nothing changes. Nothing's different between what we do on the Art of Craft. Although actually you can see, oh, you can see all the gubbins down here, can't you? I've gone very far over that way. Let's go a little bit over that way so it's a bit prettier. There we go. There we go. You don't see all the gubbins. You see the bit that's supposed to look like a studio. Yvonne, oh no, you didn't hear me singing. That's terrible. I'm sorry. So, howdy doodly do. I'm going to steal that one from Aran. That's just brilliant. So welcome to Craft Cave Live. If you're watching us on Facebook or you're watching us on YouTube, and John goes to make sure that YouTube's working, it is. Usual thing. Can hear you breathing, says Mary. So if you do want to join in on the comments and the chat, you want to ask a question or anything, please do it on Facebook because that's all I can really see. I have to keep switching between them otherwise. And it is a little bit of I've got enough to press, although we don't press as many buttons on Craft Cave, to be fair. So what is Craft Cave? If you've not watched it before, Craft Cave is a non-selling, no links, oh, Red Dwarf, Talkie Toaster. I remember that. Oh, it was. Anne, it was. Yes, I remember that now. Yes, and he got quite depressed, the toaster, didn't he? So, as you may notice, we got a bit irreverent earlier. Craft Cave's far more irreverent. It's just about answering your questions. It's about demoing. It's about showing you as how to craft and helping this great craft community. We've been doing it for 7 years now, which seems crazy because COVID was 5 years ago and we were 2 years into it then. And we did extend it and do a couple a week when we were on COVID just to try and help a little bit more. And Samantha says she's looking forward to the Zoom workshop on Saturdays. It is a fabulous project. It really is. If you haven't gone for the Zoom workshop, you can still get it, but you won't get your pack in time. It is available on the Art of Craft, but you do get a video and written instructions afterwards. So it is a great project. And the only way you will ever see how to make that project is by doing it on the Zoom class. We don't do that anywhere else because it's only for the people that have sort of done the class. So what are we doing tonight? Well, I thought tonight, I did promise on Sunday night that I would do some more of the demos that I didn't get done on Sunday because I didn't get them done. And hopefully, Amanda's just said her pack arrived today. Quite a few of you have got your packs. So I thought I'd actually show you, what we can do. So I'm going to go with one of the demos, and I didn't even finish making this into a card, but if you've got any questions, honestly, please ask them. How does this cut? What do we do? That's what I say. Just put question or Q in the comments and I will try my hardest to answer them all for everybody. So let's move on to the overhead so I can actually relax and let me tummy out. No, I'm only joking. What you get in here is just me on every show. I loved this idea. So you are. Oh, look, you can. Yeah, no. Sammy always shouts at me for having it too far back so that my stomach overhangs. Oh, Emika's looking forward to the Zoom as well if her sister's dog doesn't play up. So what I wanted to show you is, because there's a little extra trick to this as well, is how we get this stained glass window look. So I've not made it up into a finished card because I like you to see it all stage by stage by stage. So all I've done is, and we're going to start with the panel. So I'm taking the beautiful daisy panel. Now, for everybody who got... Oh no, your shelves are empty next to you. They're not. I can promise you, Michael. The shelves next to me are genuinely not empty. The ones here are, and they're empty because it looked such a mess. And Sam saw it and he went, oh, take the stuff off those shelves. It looks so messy, it's distracting. Oh, I was pointing out then, sorry. Yeah, these shelves are empty because Sam said it looked such a mess when everyone could see it. So I took those ones off. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jan, you do miss. Yeah, Sam has a lot of other things he has to do as well these days, so he can't always be in here with me. But we can banter between us. Honestly, we can. I don't know. I think I heard the car, so I think he's just gone out. So we're using this panel. And I wanted to give you, we did originally, I showed you paper piecing and I showed you layering lots up and colouring it through. And I wanted to show you how we can really easily use either alcohol markers or something like that just to give us a really beautiful stained glass look, and how we can actually make it look a little bit more sort of festive and things. So good evening our Carol and Marion and Karen. Our craft room's not meant to be a mess. Oh yeah, they are. And if I showed you, I mean, is it safe? Right, let me have a look. I'll show if it's safe. My craft cave is usually really well organised, but, right, this is the mess that I'm looking at the moment. And that is doing my head in. Because so that is the mess that I'm looking at the minute. Let's just turn that camera back round. Yeah. So, oh, Anna, you've just ordered. I should say, I don't do this on Craft Cave normally, but hello, Andrea. Hello, Brenda. If we are getting very, very low in stock of both of these, of JND 512 and 513. So if it is one you're thinking about, it won't be coming back. I would say get it ordered. I don't normally say that in Craft Cave. Yeah, but I do want to sort of warn people, because when I checked earlier, they were getting loose. Yes, Pamela, we have. It is now on the water, we believe. We've had nothing but a nightmare with it. So Pam's asking when the wonderful glue will be back in stock. See what I've been doing? It sounds crazy. I bought the old bottles, because all we did was change the bottle. So I bought a load of these. So today I actually filled this up from one of these. That's how I'm surviving, because I won't use anything else, because I've not found anything else as good. But yeah, we're expecting it mid-June, which sounds ages, but it's about 3 or 4 weeks, if that. So if you are waiting for the glue, you can go onto the Art of Craft and click the notify me button on there, and they will tell you all about it. So all I did is I've cut a piece of A4 card, and this is the darkest grey from our canvas card from the canvas card collections. Leslie says, mine is tidy. I get tetchy if it's messy. I clear away every card and start again. I clear away every morning and start again, but I've been doing so much recently, as well as trying to design and draw and keep on top of everything. I haven't had time, and I need a day to just clean in, not to clean and tidy in here. I've swept and everything every week, but I need to tidy and put things away. So all I've done is run that through as normal, but it cuts beautifully. And it's one of those, it's got all these little fine bits. And these are the bits that, to me, make the die, but also mean paper piecing is a real faff for doing all of it. Because you've got little tiny little bits to make up the design. Because I drew this. So I drew the flowers and the leaves and then added them on the computer and then put them over the background. And of course you get, when you start merging shapes, you get all little weird slots in there. And I wanted those to be in. I wanted that to be original. I didn't want to just put blocks. So you see there, you've got the little bits. I don't know if you're seeing that. I didn't want to just block that out. I wanted those to be, I wanted it to be truly like it's made of stained glass. So one of the easiest ways to do this is to use acetate and pens. So what's this? Oh, Dawn, I finally made 2 special cards since our workshop. They're a take on what we made with what's happened. So hopefully getting that. Oh, Dawn, I'm so pleased you're getting back into it. Oh, gosh, our Samantha puts everything away the day when I finish at night, then I have a fresh start. Yeah, I have a fresh start every morning by leaving it. I will walk out of here tonight at 8 o'clock and I will leave it as it is. And then at 6 o'clock in the morning, I will come in and tidy it all. So I'm going to then use a piece of acetate, and it doesn't matter what acetate you use. I mean, obviously, I'm going to use the Kaleido acetate because that's the only one I tend to use because it does everything. But it doesn't have to be heat-resistant acetate. It can be absolutely anything at all. So I'm just trimming a piece down to 4 inches so it fits behind. Now, I always spray glue. And I know I was talking to our Jane earlier, and she had loads of trouble trying to get a decent spray glue. So you can, with this, you can use glue glaze. So you can use your glue glaze just like this. So you're not going to be putting bits into it. So you don't have to think, oh, it's got to be absolutely perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect for this. So I'm using the end. I'm not even using a new one. And I'm using the sides, and I'm just making sure I've got some glue glaze. This is what I would really strongly recommend not using PVA when you're doing acetate. And the reason is acetate PVA glue, your normal, even our super glue, will not dry properly quickly and without marks on acetate. And you want this to be dry. So, and you don't want it to blob and squeeze out, which it will. So, there we go. Oh, no, mine doesn't stay. I've missed it. It's gone. It's flicked past so quickly. But someone said, I get mine tidy, but then it doesn't last. No, neither does mine. Neither does mine. It's about half an hour and then it's a mess. So you see now, that is stuck down and it's already dry. That's why I'd say if you're not going to use if you're not going to use spray glue, use glue glaze. Yeah. So only waited approximately 20 years. Hubby has finally realised that crafting is here to stay. 20 years it's taken you for him to understand. Well, not for you to explain it to him, for him to understand. That's not bad on a lot of blokes' timeline, to be honest. It's not. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this over to the back. And this is where you can literally hide a multitude of sins. So here I have, these are alcohol markers, but I know when I was talking, I was last down to see our lovely Peter and lovely Jane, she'd got a whole box full of pens, felt tip pens, Dufex markers, if people remember those, pens that were to colour in peel-offs. They will all work. So you don't have to have the most expensive alcohol pens or anything in the world. You really don't, to do this technique. You can get away with absolutely, anything that'll stick to it. Yeah. Oh, Jackie, I can't wait for these dies to arrive. Oh, that's so kind of you, Jackie. I really love these. And I did meant to say earlier, and I didn't. And I should have done that. There is going to be a new panel. There's already on order. There's a new panel to fit inside this die. There's a different floral panel to fit inside here. And it is going to be in the Zoom class for July. So that will be the exclusive die in the class for July. So can you see I'm using the chisel tip? But this is how easy it is. Don't be too careful or scared. It's so much easier. You see what I mean about colouring it from behind? Because it doesn't matter if I go over the lines because you're not going to see them. So I'm literally just colouring in that flower. Simple as that. Also, Anne Brown says, he's fed up of trying to find a space on the dining table. Well, he should have sorted your craft room out earlier. Years ago. See there now, look. That looks neat because it's coloured on the back. Yeah, Nicola, if you could buy shares in the Art of Craft, trust me, I'd be the first in the doorway. I really would. I'd be the first trying to buy a part of that. So I've gone for a different, I'm going to change that because I'm going to go for a different colour. Because I didn't think that was right. So I'm just going to go for a different colour for the other ones. And I wasn't a yellow fan, and I love yellow these days. It is so bright. So this time I'm going for an orange. Again, I'm using the chisel tip. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what, as long as the pens will stick to the acetate, it doesn't matter which ones you do. And what I absolutely love is, I don't know if you can see here. Let's come down a little bit. You can see, I haven't used these for a while, so it's pooled a little bit. I'm going to add a bit more on, so it does. But let it. I usually go in and do a second layer like this. So I've let the alcohol pool. Oh, I've got so many of your dies, John. I've had to order more storage from Storage for Crafts. I'm sorry, Jackie. Michael, what's the latest craft craze at the moment you've seen? To be honest, Michael, I think it's turning a corner. Sam and I were talking about this earlier. We were talking about two things we see coming. And number one is we're moving away from square cards into more back to the original 5x7 rectangular cards and more natural products on cards. Starting to see that. So they're changing from being all squares to more rectangular. And I think they're getting more natural things. Yeah. So, but can you see there? Look. When you actually let the ink pool, see the difference between the two flowers? It looks more 3D and it looks more like glass. So don't worry about your colouring. If you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Oh, you know, it's not perfect. Don't get it perfect. Let some ink or colour pool up. It will look more realistic. I'm using white card behind because it makes it stand out. Again, if you think, oh, it's a bit much, you can always just add a bit more. This is what's so fun about them. So I'm just going to colour these in orange. Have we had any other questions that I've missed? I would love a craze that isn't flower based. Yeah, it's funny, but we're always talking about that. And I'm always big on putting flowers on my cards. But I'm not sure what else there is. Everyone's been trying to find what's the next, you know, idea of putting on. Tonight on The Art of Craft, I did some beautiful dies from Leanne that were like figurative ones. Do you know, Carol, I don't know yet. I haven't decided what colours are going to be in for Christmas for me this year. We didn't go to Frankfurt this year with what's happening in the industry and stuff. So I can't, and normally I can tell you what I saw, but from what I saw last year, it's going to be very, very bright. It should be really lots of clashing bright colours, I think, but I don't know. So, but now all I'm going to do is I'm using the fine tip and I'm colouring all of the leaves because it's easier in one colour. But yeah, I don't know what it's going to be this year. I really don't. You know, I'll have to do some research on that. But as I remember, because they usually project ahead a couple of years, and I think they said, and I'm sure it was all almost like autumnal. I saw a brilliant thing of autumnal shades of browns and reds with a little bit, sort of browns and oranges and things with a little bit of purple pushed in, which I thought, oh, that's really clever. So maybe it'll be that. I don't know. So I'm just colouring through. I'll try and look it up and see what I can find out. Christmas is 32 weeks, so not long to decide colour combination. I think we'll be going with our classic. We do seem to love that. Plus, Sammy is very good. He takes 2 of our trees, wraps them in cling film, and then puts them away perfectly fitted, perfectly made, so we can just pull them out already done. But can you see here how careful I'm not being? But all I'm doing is just colouring over where those leaves are. And I think this is actually so mindful, and it's so easy colouring onto acetate. It really is. It's just such a fab thing to do. So I've only got 2 more leaves to do. Always move your work, not yourself. So what I'm colouring, I'm using alcohol markers. Yeah, so Jackie asked what I'm using. I'm just using alcohol markers, any alcohol markers. You don't need your Copics and your really expensive ones. You can use your real cheapies because you're not trying to blend or anything. You can use felt tip pens or those old Dufex pens that was for colouring in peel-offs. They're really good for it. You know, they're really good for it. So, you know, that's a real one to go with. So, that's one side coloured. It does make me think of like a door, what was in the doorway. But look what happens then when I put it on white. It really works. So, that's the one I've just coloured tonight. This is the one I coloured the other night, or I coloured at home. And you can see the difference when I put this blue in, and that's what I was talking about, all these little bits. So all I do is turn that over onto the back and just colour in, and I'm leaving intentionally this outside stripe not coloured. Okay, but it's so much easier to fill in all of these little bits on the back with a pen. Can you imagine how difficult it is filling these in paper piecing? So you can see there, you don't think when I first coloured that, if I go like that, you don't think there's any space. But when you see it coloured, you realise that there is, and it makes such a difference. So all I'm going to do is literally just colour it in, and I'm colouring any of the spaces. So anywhere where I see there's a little bit of space, it's so much easier than paper piecing. So we're just colouring that in. Just like that. So your parcel went off today, Nicola. I've just seen our Nicola. Sorry, I mean, they may still be available next month, Nicola. I would hope so. It's just, I know when I've looked, they were getting really short, but we'll see. We can always, they'll always try and find some for you. In fact, I think I've actually got some that I might be able to. So we'll see. So, Mr. Star, are you using acetate? Yes. I've just coloured onto acetate. But look, it's not the best on the back. But on the front, it really clears it out. But what I wanted to do is... Oh, I've missed a bit. You see it straight away as soon as you turn it over. But I wanted to show you two different options. Because I do want to make this look a little bit more like it's made out... It is actually stained glass. Yeah, so that's a good idea, Karen. I never thought of that. Paper piece the big bits and alcohol colour the back. What a great idea. Love that one. Thank you, Karen. That's Karen Boxall, I think, was it? Sorry. Shirley says it's so relaxing watching me do this demo. Actually, I get really relaxed doing it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put foam tape around the back. And I'm going to do it on both. Now, I should be using scissors, not tearing it. So, I'm going to show you two different ways, because we've not always all got the same products. So, I'll put that around that one. Let's go on to the back of this one. So, the same on this one. Better go on my mat, hadn't I? Because I'd cut this piece a little bit short. It was scrap. So just make sure I'm covering all of it. Let's grab a little bit more foam tape. I like the darker frame more. But again, we all have... If you did it in brown, it would look like wood. But I thought the lighter grey might make it look like lead. But I think it is probably... It's stronger on the dark... It is stronger on the darker grey than the lighter grey. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we all agree on that one. Go with the darker grey. But that's why we have different packs of colour. So there I've got my 2 panels. So what I'm going to do now is, one of them, I've got a load, and I got these from Leblanche, but I know they sell this sort of thing in places like the Range and stuff, and these are like little clear beads. So they're just like little cheap clear, but sort of like bugle beads, do they call them, long pieces. I'm hoping this works, because it works in my head. The number of times things work in my head. So yeah, I've seen it done with peel-offs many years ago. That's why a lot of people bought pens, especially for peel-offs, to do this sort of thing. So what I've done is I've filled that with literally cheap beads. So our Anne's saying they're bugle beads. Thank you, Anne. And then I'm just going to take off my protective by being careful not to move it and disturb it. And then I'm going to put another piece of acetate on. So that, oh, and it's gone all staticky, and I didn't want it to do that. I should have anti-staticked it. See, we live and learn. We live and learn. So let's put those bits in. See, it happens to everyone. Use them on hat pins for cards. That's one, Michael, I'd love to see back. I'd love to see hat pins come back on cards. I used to love that. So there we go. See, putting those in now, look. Let's go forward. Can you see? That. It looks, to me, far more glass-like. And it adds that little bit of extra shaker element to it. And I love doing it like that, as a kind of, like an acetate sandwich. It's like a faux shaker card. Oh, our Nicola says when she was in Oz, they used to do that. It was one of the first crafts that people did. I remember. It's one of the ones that used to bring people in. So you might not have... that sort of bead, and you don't want to go out and buy something new or special. So what I'm going to do is something that loads of us have got: caviar beads or clear glass beads. Yeah, Jackie, you've got loads of hat pins still. So have I. Absolutely loads of them, Jackie. Scarily so much. Oh yeah, I wondered. Sorry, our Leslie's just said she's been doing it on a few cards she's made in the last couple of days. That's why I'm thinking, oh, that's why it's come in my head. I've subconsciously not noticed and thought, oh. So, there we go. Try not to do what I've done, which is basically get a load on the glue. But again, this time putting the microbeads in. And then again, sealing it in an acetate sandwich. There you go. You see it there, but look. And again, it looks more like glass, because it is glass and it's got glass in it. And I just think it adds that little bit of interest into it. So let's go back onto the overhead. So now obviously I need to cover up all the gubbins and all the thingy. But this is something I was talking about earlier that I wanted to show you. So I need to go and get a piece. And this is similar to what we were doing last week. So if I can find it. No. Oh, we'll have to do a new one. So we'll have to do a new one. So I've got a bit of rougher card here. This is where I love using the frame and getting the most out of it. Yeah. A light behind it would look amazing. It really, really would. Remember, you might have to just, you know, brush off, clean down your thing earlier. Yeah, no, our Leslie found him in a drawer and thought, I would do that one. It would light up beautifully. What you would have to do, if you want to put lights in this, I will show you, because I always have some lights in my drawer, is if you put them in like that. Oh. I thought it wouldn't, you'd see every little pinprick of light. But it doesn't look like you will. So, let's have a go at that then, shall we? Let's have a go at putting some lights in. So I'm going to grab one of the frames done. So I'm always transferring time. And as you can see, this is me. I've got too many done. I've got too many frames already done. Yeah, I would probably say I've gone right off the bugle beads. I thought they'd lay flat, but they're not doing. They're going all over the place. There we go. You've annoyed me. So again, let's try the lights behind this. Ooh, yeah, I think that will work quite well. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little sort of light box for this. So I'm going to find a frame, yeah, that works. I really like that, of the brown. So I'm just going to add that on. And because I don't want to make this too thick, I'm not foam taping it on. So I'm just going to, there we go, put that down like that. So I've flat mounted it, which doesn't matter. But as soon as I put white behind it, that really does sing. It really does. But let's have a look at putting some lights in it. So, little trick. I want to make a little light box in a way. So I'm going to grab my press cut rectangles. So these are my rectangle dies. And I just want to find one. Oops. That will fit. Now, this is me. And this is what Sam said. Sam says to me, when I've forgotten to do something, he'll go, no, well, this is you, isn't it? So this is me, one of my things. Can you see there? There's a press cut die that fits exactly to cut a panel to fit that panel there. I'm hoping you can see that. Yeah, which means that I could put different colours behind it because I use the same measurements through on everything. So if I want something to cut that die out or matte and layer it or put rares underneath, it's like that one. Oh, that's good. Found an old tonic clip that they used. Oh, I remember on their die packaging fits the syringe for the glue lid perfectly. Ooh. I don't put a lid on the syringe. I literally just pull the plug out each time. So all I'm going to do is got a piece of coconut white card here and I'm going to cut out a square from it, a rectangle that fits exactly on the die cut. And I'll show you what I mean as soon as I find my right plate. So, just going to cut that out. So, this die here, it's mathematically correct. Yeah. Yes, we are looking at Christmas panels, Amanda, for them, but they'll be later in the season. So it's 2 by 1, 2. So it's 2 by 4. But can you see, 2x4 fits that exact panel exactly. So if you just wanted to mount that, that would work perfectly, wouldn't it? So all I'm going to do, and again, I want this to be quite strong because I'm using acetate. Glue does not stick to acetate very well at all. So I'm putting on power tape. I don't want more foam tape. It's already got a layer in there, and I will be using some more. So I'm using power tape. Don't try and glue card down to acetate unless you're prepared to let it dry overnight. You want to use a power tape or a foam tape. Nothing, you know, the others just won't work. I was going to do so much more tonight, but I'm enjoying doing this. So just go through like that. There we go. Okay, so just going to reveal that tape. Leslie says we'll all be getting our lights out. This is the time of year to buy your lights before people start on the before people actually start on their Christmas cards. So I'm looking through. There we go. Can you see now how that fits exactly? So I have that white section that covers all of that, and I could go with a different colour. Let's go with a grey, shall we? Look. So I can go with a different colour at the back, but what it gives is it leaves me just a panel for the lights to work on. So when you're using lights, foam tape is your friend. I know some people go mad for hot glue. If you're a hot glue person, then brilliant, well done. I will burn myself, and I've already got injuries from cutting myself and all sorts. So, you know, I'm not a hot glue person. I'm not very good with it. So let's just unroll my lights, which is usually where I get into a mess because I don't untie them properly like you're supposed to. So these are card safe lights. I get them from Amazon. There are loads of different places to do them. Just go onto Amazon and Google search, you know, LED card lights or something, and buy the cheapest. That's what I do. Now, it's funny, Nicola. Sam and I both love making Christmas cards and decorating up for Christmas, but we're not enormous Christmas fans. You know, we're like, oh, we had dinner, no, fine, opened our presents, lovely. Right, yeah, that's it. We had a lovely one last year. We tend to go away. We won't be this year, but we do tend to go away. It'll be a home one this year. So let's just put that one down. So all I've done is put foam tape everywhere. Yeah, rice lights, that's a good thing to search them under. Okay. So I'm then going to start. Everyone wants to start at the light. You don't. Honestly, start at the wires. Start at the end. And then all I'm doing is crisscrossing on the glue tape, on the foam tape. Now you'll find that sometimes it'll stick and sometimes it'll pop back off, but it's far easier and safer. See, they will just pop off. We'll seal it in a minute, don't worry. But it's far easier, I find, and safer than using hot glue, because you're going to burn yourself. Hi, Marion. And this way I can make sure that I'm covering, you know, you could be precise and try and be mathematically correct, Aaron. Nicola works Christmas Day. It's just another one. Oh, I've never thought glue gel would work. What a great idea, Nicola. So just like that. And then put that in. And then I'm going to go with just a scrap piece of the grey at the back. Just to seal it in. It is easy. It is so easy, Amanda. Once you've got it, it's easy. You see there then, that's done and sealed, but look. If I turn the lights off, careful, the cameras will change. But you look how warm that is. And it's actually only, the camera has to get used to it. It's actually only lighting where the space is, not where the outside frame is. Let's get the light back on. You can tell it's very dark in here because there are no lights. Yeah. But again, filling a plastic bag to make a shaker card. Great idea, Karen. But you see there how much like a piece that looks. Now, I do have to trim off the excess, but be careful so that you don't cut the wire for the lights. Because trust me, I'm saying that because I've done it. So can you see here, I'm folding that right back and then being careful to make sure I don't cut the battery pack off. But that gives us a real difference and looks like stained glass. So let's just get a card blank, because what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make a massive card on there. I want to just sort of frame it. So I've got one that's sort of 5 1/2 by 7.5. That's all. Yeah, it would look lovely as a Christmas card door with lights. Oh, it would. And of course you could put that in to a Christmas door or something. Now, remember, this is, this is very heavy. So this is where you want to use your Craft Artist glue. And you'll notice I'm using far more than I would do normally. Because it's heavy, I want it to really meld in. So yeah, you could use 2 sheets of acetate so you could see all the way through, Sarah, which is what we've done. But you have to put something in the back. Otherwise, it needs to be sealed. I mean, you could, actually, thinking about it. You're right. And you just cut a hole in your card. So again, you can see through and leave some space. But if you can see there, and then all I do is one of 2 things. One, cut a hole in your card blank and push your battery pack through. Or I tend to just turn it round and just, I'm going to sellotape it on, but I would power tape this on. Just because I will secure it and probably push it through a little bit later. But just like that. But then we have our finished light up. Still pretty. But you don't see where I didn't put white at the back, I put grey at the back, but put the white there because it shows you when it lights up how beautiful it is. Yeah, Nicola, I know. Oh, she's down to her last few squirts of glue, waiting on the shipment. Other glues, they don't compare, Nicola, and I've tried them all. Even the really expensive ones, they really don't. I know that's supposedly, that's what I always say, think that's what I'm supposed to say, but it's not. It's genuinely, it's a nightmare. But can you see there, all that depth? We've got the glass trapped, but it's trapped with the white, but then we've got a light panel in the back. So it's different. I think that it's got to be one of my favourite cards I've made in ages, which means it gets to go on, stand on the back wall, or for now, it can stand there so that I can see that. So I was going to do a shaker card using a piece of waste from the middle of the other one. So have we got, we have. Oh, we have. So I was going to do you a little bit of a different shaker card using these. So a little bit of what you were suggesting earlier. I think it was you, Sarah Jane, I'm not sure. Again, we could just, sorry, I should. I've now got to find a frame. Here we go. We could just, remember, do what we did before. So that's how pretty that is. It's a beautiful card on its own without lights. It's a different piece. Yeah? So we can get a completely different look from doing the same one. I better turn those lights off because I'll need to photograph that. So, but I wanted to show you something else, Shakerish, but this time using waste. So this is the waste pieces. So these are the waste pieces from when I made a paper pieced card. Now, I haven't got the paper pieced card because it's over there, but can you see that? These are the pieces that were left over from making it. So I thought, what a great way we could make a paper piece with it. And reminds me, I must pull these out because I must show you these. The samples from our Helen, because they were delayed in the post, unfortunately. I'm so sorry, Helen. But look. So Helen's paper pieced, like you said, just the outer and the white flowers, black centres, and then she's just glittered the leaves. How classy is that? Yeah? Or this one where she's just used the bubbles. And she's just used the bubbles across a square card. So just because a die is a 5x7 or an A5, it doesn't mean you can't use it for squares. Love this frame. Just with the flowers. Just on the bottom. And then again, a little bit of like Nuvo drops or something in each one of those with the leaves around it. Again, another square card, but using those two little leaf insert dies. This one I think is fab. Helen's paper pieced everything. But how gorgeous is it in those canvas card colours and the greens? Just love that. This one, clever again. Part paper pieced, part glittered, different colours. We know we've done that technique before on here. And then my favourite of these, just using the old Happy Birthday, which, oh, what a surprise, fits. And fits perfectly, yeah? So absolutely gorgeous samples from our Helen. I will get those. I will get those photographed and added on. There's so much on at the moment. It's crazy. So, acetate. Oh, I think I've used it all up. Let's grab another piece. So let's just cut some acetate. So probably won't get this one done. But we'll try and do it. So this time, I'm going to take two colours. I'm going to take two of the colours, yeah? And I'm going to spray glue them for speed. So I'm just spray gluing off air a little bit. But again, you could do what we did earlier and just use glue glaze. You know, you don't have to have spray glue. And I'm going to drop those on. Amanda says, anyone would have thought you'd have thought about that, John? Yeah, usually I kind of do sometimes, don't I? Things like that. So can you see now how fab they look when they're offset? Put it on some white so you can see. So all I've done is one is acetate down. So one is the front and one is the back. Yeah? So basically card is on the outside of both of them. Yeah, so again, I'm going to take some foam tape. And I'm just going to put that in. And again, you could put anything in here. The best thing to do is, obviously I've used all the pieces out of these for paper piecing cards. But if you kept the circles, you could drop circles into here. You know, you could drop anything into here. I've actually happened to have got some more beads. These are like, I mean, I have pots of things like this I find all over the place. Again, I think these were Leblanche, or in one of the Leblanche kits. But just some orangey coloured beads. And then I'm going to take off the protective. And I'm going to face it down, and I'm going to make sure, there we go, that it's sealed. So effectively, I've got card on both sides. That's a clever idea, Anne. The die cut's in one of the frame bubbles too. What a great idea. So you can see there, it sort of rotates round. So what I want to do now is, I want 2 frames for it. So I'm going to use, excuse me, I'm going to use the 2 colours of card that I used. Yeah. And I'm going to cut both of the new frame makers. So I'm going to cut the 7x5 and the 6 3/4, 4 3/4. So we did this the other night. You can cut 2 at the same time. And I'm just going to run those through. Because this almost becomes then a sun catcher or a window. Because both sides are covered. This is why I love the frame makers. If I said to you, you now need to cut 2 layer frames for this with your you know, nesting dies, it would be a nightmare. Oh, that's lovely. Carol, I don't know about anyone else, but I've had 2 hours, Carol Byers, sorry, 2 hours watching you, John, and cutting flowers from bits and pieces of card. So I'm tidying my card stash at the same time. That's a lovely thing to do. I can't craft in silence. I've been listening to audiobooks recently. But can you imagine how long it would take you to cut these, 4 of these perfectly in the different colour? Oh, that's why frame makers saved, you know, my crafting and make it so. It means I can spend my time decorating things. So let's just take those. So of course now I've got 2 frames that alternate in the same colours. Yep. Thank you, Julie. Okay, so again, I'm going to just flat mount these. You don't always have to use foam tape. And it's so easy to get right. So there I have sort of ginger on chocolate or chestnut on chocolate. And this side I'm going to have chocolate on chestnut. Oh, I'm in the lounge on the laptop watching Wednesday on my night's social interaction. Yeah, this is about as much social interaction as I get these days. So to me, this is why I love it. This is why we get even more chatty, because yeah, this is my weekly social interaction, the 4 hours I do on Facebook and YouTube a week. Oops, wrong place. So I want to go by the edge. So you see now why I flat mounted those. Oh, I used to go to the charity shops and buy cheap necklaces and bracelets and remake them with the beads. That's a clever idea, Anne. You know, cards are so much easier, but yeah, if you want old beads, always try the charity shops. Try them for everything. It's always worth a go. So, here we go. So there's one. I've got to do the other one. We're nearly out of time. So, just to remind you, I will be back on Saturday at 6 o'clock over on the Art of Craft for Saturday Night Live. So another hour of demonstrations and an amazing half-price offer. Really, it's worth tuning in. It's really, really good. I think there's something like 15 dies all at half price and a couple of really good bundles and a giveaway as well. I think you're going to get like a free $12.99 die included in one or both the sets, or some of them, I don't know which. So you can see here, so I've gone chocolate chestnut onto chocolate. I'm going to flip it over. Yeah. And I'm just going to do the reverse. So this is chestnut, chocolate, chestnut. But now you have, I'm going to hold this one forward. Can you see it? So you've got a shaker card, but look. It's actually a sun catcher for the window. So both sides are neat. So absolutely perfect. You could put it onto a card blank and send it like that and have a little ribbon put in it so that it could hang it up. But to me, that could hang up and spin in the wind or something, or just hang up and let light shine through it. But something a little bit different. So thank you for joining me, and thank you for everyone for chatting away and enjoying it. Remember, as people have been saying, some people, this is, you know, some of the only social interaction with like-minded people they get. You know, and that's what we'd all, you know, love to give and love to do. So that's what this is all about. This is all about sharing and caring, and all those words sound so trite when you say them like that, but it genuinely is. But thank you for joining me. Remember, I'm back at 7 o'clock next Wednesday. I'm here every Wednesday night, and having for years just an hour of inspiration and demonstrations. If you want a few more demonstrations but a little bit of sales, I've got to be fair, it's got to be in there, go over onto the Art of Craft, and I'll be back on Saturday night with some great deals. But again, more hints, tips and demos, and plenty of chat on there. There is no craft store this week because there's no new launch, because we were too busy last week, but there's no new launch. We'll be back with a new launch a week on Sunday, and then I will be back next Wednesday at 6 o'clock on the Art of Craft for sort of midweek deals, and then back here at 7 o'clock. So thank you for joining me, guys. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I really have. So same bat time, same bat channel,